Okay, it's February 19th, 2023. We're going to go through the septic system here at the house, and Ryan is going to open up the control box. This is the brain of the whole system here. This is the main motherboard up here. These lights are described over here of what's what. You have two switches here. One depresses when it's discharging, and one depresses when it's recirculating. And those are operated from these switches here. You want to take it from auto to manual, discharge, auto to manual. So this one circulates, we'll show that up next, and this one discharges once the filtration process is complete. This was added after the fact. It's basically a modem that took this off of dial-up and put it on the internet. But currently, it's not hooked to anything. This is set by the main company in Seattle, I believe they are, and it seems to be working fine with the amount of use that it gets right now. So that's it. All this is working great. Okay, we're in the front of the property now, and right next to the little bridge is this area here, and this area is rocks that are covering a lid, and in that lid there's a pump. So everything that gets flushed or goes down the drain in the house goes into a sump right there, and when the level hits a certain level, it pumps that both solids and fluids out of there over to here, which is the main top to the septic tank. It fills up in here, and then as the solids remain, the liquids get processed through this green thing here, and this is what we're actually going to be working on today. We're going to take the float tree out of there, clean all the stuff that's in there, basically rinse it off and put it back. But that has the pumps and the valves that process the fluid up to that big green tank at the top. The big green tank's got 50 pads in it. Those pads we take out every 2 to 3 years, lay them out on the lawn, you rinse them off. The last time I did it about 3 years ago, I used a pressure washer and cleaned them real good. There's a lot of them, and it's a lot of work to do. But you really don't have to do it every year. I wouldn't do it every year. This, what we're going to do today, should probably be done every year. Just why not? It's been probably 3 years since it's been done, and we had a little bit of problem because if solids start to build up and start leaching into the discharge tank, which is this one here, then it can start to clog up the spin filter and stuff like that. So, okay, next we'll have Ryan take the tree off this. If you can move it, it's not too heavy, just put it on this one over here. I'm going to take the lid off, go ahead. And just kind of scoot it off to the side, not going upside down with it. And we can take a look at what's in there. So we got a valve up there at the top. And now this blue, this green, there's a green tank and a blue inner tree. That's what's coming out. And we'll show you how to do that in a second. One thing we need to do before we get started is turn the power off to the system. The best way to do that is just go inside the main breaker here. So open up this side of the breaker and down towards the bottom, keep going. There's, right here it says new septic. That'd be this one, this 20 amp right there. Yep. Now if you want to confirm that you've got it, come on over here, and you can see now nothing's lit up anymore. All right, Ryan's gonna reach down, pull on the white pipe. We're gonna try pulling that up to expose the floats and the honeycomb. Oh, is it? Oh, there you go. We may have to take that other pipe off, but if it'll come out, great. If not, we'll have to take that other pipe. It's kind of long, so it's probably not gonna.
There's more down there? Yeah.
All right.
I might need to remove this.
Looks like we need to do the union. All right, so before you pull that up, we gotta loosen this union here so we can get that pipe out of the way.
Can I do it by hand? Let's see.
I've got, oh yeah. Little pressure there.
Should I close the valve first?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter. You can if you want. When the septic guy did it, he closed it and he forgot to reopen it. So
Right, so
we need to.
if we close it, we just have to make sure to open it.
Yeah.
Slowing down the dripping here. Come on, almost there. There we go.
Very good.
Is that out of the way enough?
Can you fit it behind that? Oh, there you go.
All right.
Now you're gonna just pull it up, and we're just gonna kind of set the bottom of it on the edge of this thing. Actually, just hold it right there, man. All right, we're gonna put the nozzle on the garden hose, so we have a little control over the flow and the pressure coming out this fire hose here.
Okay.
Go ahead and okay, I'll turn it. We're going to start with just rinsing it with under pressure here. See how clean we can get it. Try to keep it in the tank the best you can. All right, what do you think?
We got our first pass. I definitely missed some sections in the middle. But otherwise I can tell that it's pipes. I can tell what it is.
It looks pretty good and doesn't smell bad either.
Yeah.
To go down into the vent area.
Yeah.
All right, then we can take this smaller brush here,
Yeah.
run it up and down each tube, and that really cleans it good from the inside. Yeah, that works good.
On to the next.
Okay, he's approaching the end of each one. We figure there's about 30 of them that you need to do. It's looking pretty good. We're going to inspect the wires on the floats, and if that looks good, we'll button it up, this part of it.
Okay.
So go ahead, give her a rinse. Can you agree? It's not so bad. I mean, it's not a flower garden, but not so bad.
Nope, not bad.
So I see some chunks there at the bottom on the bottom plate. Maybe you could hit those. Yeah, good. Keep going. It's still flowing pretty good. And then I'd say get the top of the blue tank on your side there. Straight down there. Right there. Stay back a little bit, guys. All right. So next, I want to just take a look at the wiring. We've had some faults with these floats. And taking a look, we got bottom float here, which we probably should rinse. Oh. We got a top float here and a middle float there. Maybe, can you just take a close look at all the wires, see if there's anything cracked, look like it might be shorting out? And then I don't know where it connects on this one.
Yeah,
Oh, inside.
It's plugging into here.
Okay, there's 4.
We actually got 4 plugs.
Okay, so there's nothing really to leak as long as that doesn't go underwater. And I don't know. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and just drop it back in.
Put it back in.
Just make sure the floats are doing their floating job. That one's not stuck behind the other one, is it? The top one stuck behind the middle one?
No. It's free.
Okay. And the bottom one is floating. I think it goes in further. Oh, the wires are
Yeah.
Wires are cut up there. All right, well, our level looks good. It's right at the bottom of the middle float. So next he'll take the union pipe and move that around and put that back together. And then we'll reverse the position of the red valve. Ideally. There we go. Okay, looks good. Pop the top back on and we'll go to the next tank just to show you what's in there. We can leave that plant there for a while. It don't matter. All right, let's brush, if you could, brush away some leaves the best you can. This is the distribution tank. This is the final tank that the processed fluid goes into before it's pumped into the lawn under pressure through drippers. So in here you got a similar thing, except instead of it being a filter thing like that had, this has 3 floats in it, a low, a middle, and a high, which right now it's at the lowest level. And normally it doesn't go above the high level unless, or above the medium level, unless there's a lot of usage. Say if the Nybergs were here with all their kids and they all took showers, it would be overflowing. This white pipe on the side is where the processed water out of the system enters the distribution tank. Every once in a while you'll hear it run into here. And occasionally it doesn't hurt if you're here to take a peek in here every once in a while and just to see, because anything can happen. The pumps can fail, the floats can stick, the system can be overflowed, and what happens is water will come all the way up to here and start going over, which means your control box here, not, it's just a box with where the wires are ganged together in there, but you really don't want to get that stuff wet. It's not supposed to be wet. So anyway, I serviced this a couple weeks ago. It was really badly clogged, not the pumps, but this next box here, which is where the spin filter and solenoids are. So this is the solenoids and system that controls the distribution of the stuff. So the water gets pumped out of here under pressure, gets shot through that pipe, and it goes up into drip irrigation that gets distributed throughout the lawn. And that you can see when it's on, because this valve here, or this gauge, will be under pressure. This one here. So what happens is there's a spin filter. The spin filter's right here. To get it out of there, you got to undo 1, 2, 3 unions. Take those out, the whole thing comes out. And then this casing at the bottom unscrews, and there's a real mesh, cylinder mesh filter in there that I cleaned with a brush. It's a pretty fine, gentle thing. And it was completely coated, so nothing was getting pumped in. It was just overworking the pump, nothing was happening. I took it apart, I cleaned it all, put it all back together, and now as you can see, it's working perfect. So that's about it. Once it comes out of here, the pipe comes up through here, the drippers start, and you can see that by how green the lawn is. There's been extra for, I think maybe because of lack of pressure, it wasn't pushing it through the whole system. It was getting it up to here, and that's about it. But the lines go out around this side here, and then there's 4 lines that go between here and that last tree. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see, especially in the summer, you can see 3 green lines from where the drippers go. They go all the way up around this tree through here. The other part of the system is there's bleeder valves. You gotta be careful. They're in here somewhere. When you're mowing the lawn or something, you can't hit the dang thing. It's probably, the gophers have buried them. It's probably right here. I don't know if you want to try. Is that, I think it's right there, yeah. Just uncover it a little bit. It should be not covered. But that's the gophers doing their thing.
What is this? It's just at the end of the pipe?
That's a bubbler where air can come out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll show you what they look like, because there's 2. The other one's over here. That's what they are right there. So, and there's a little Snyder valve on there for whatever reason. And this is the tank. If you undo these screws, this pops up. It's on arms that hold it up. Okay. And then there's just pad after pad after pad after pad after pad. I think there's 50 of them, and there's like 4 sides to each of them. So it's like 400 or 200 surfaces to clean. Sure. All right, well, there you have it. You got any questions? Does it make sense?
No, makes sense.
So
not too hard, especially if you're on top of it.
Yeah, oh, one other thing I'll mention. I did mention that there's a fault to the system, and it's, I thought it was, we were going to see something on these floats, but if the system has a fault and you clear the alarm, but you don't fix the problem, it will probably re-alarm for the same thing in 2 weeks. So if the alarm goes off every 2 weeks, there's something that's not right. I mean, everything is working right, but some float or something, it doesn't like. Not doing so, yeah, so what would happen is I would go out of town. I remember the first time, I think I was in Arizona. I think your parents were here with Paul and Kristen, and the alarm's going off. And what would happen is there's a buzzer right here that, and at 2 in the morning you can hear it, would wake up the neighbor. So the alarm still goes off, but that doesn't anymore. I pulled the wire on it.
It's disconnected, yeah.
I disconnected that. So what will go off is this will turn red.
Okay.
And if that turns red, the way you clear it is turn the breaker on and off, and you got 2 more weeks at least.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
That's it. See y'all later. Now, this last part here, we're going to put these covers back on. Right now, everything looks really good. Thank you, Ryan. You did a perfect job on that.
Like a pro.
Like a pro. And now he's just going to turn that 20 amp breaker back on. That will be good. All right. If we go back over here, we should have lights again.
Lights are on.
All right. Well, that's a basic